that battle, but
I had to outdo Gambo. I mean, last time it looked like he was like hiding in a cave or something. I was like, let me see your face.
he was on a camper with Jenna heading up to Saratoga, I think, and it was I'm shocked the cell service lasted the entire time. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks to Brad and Luke for being on here. I'm going old school Jimmy Fallon style. So thanks to American Business Machines, SC Architects, and PCL for sponsoring this great event. Brad, I think you're drinking one of our friends over there, or
Michelob, I think.
Michelob Ultra. That's a proud partner. Yeah, great friend. First off, guys, just what's been going on, and everyone, I know some people have been throwing some questions in the chat. If you want to hit the chat, you can shoot the messages over to me. We'll ask as many questions as we can get through. We might have some surprises throughout the hour here. So just what have you guys been up to? Brad, first off, where are you and what have you been up to?
I'm in Kingston, Ontario, so 2 hours north of Syracuse. So we're up here with my in-laws, and we're working on our little summer home just down the lake here. So I actually picked up a drill for once, tried my hand at that, and just hanging out with Banksy.
What are we building?
Gazebo.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. How is Banks doing? Just had his second birthday. What's he been up to?
A lot of Paw Patrol. Loves his car rides. And next phase is big boy bed and potty training. So we're kind of just holding on to this phase right now because it's going to get crazy.
Luke, looks like a pretty nice background down there on the old balcony. What's happening?
Yeah, I've been down in Hilton Head, South Carolina with my family since mid-March or so, and it's good. We're all kind of staying in one of our good family friends is kind of lent us his beach house here, and we're all kind of piled in, and a lot of golf when we can. But we've also tried our hand at the carpentry. We've been rebuilding one of my uncle's decks over at his house. So we've done that and painted the house. And so I also picked up a drill and tried my hand at that as well.
How's that going?
Great, actually. Learned a lot. My dad's kind of a handyman, so he's contracting, I guess, and kind of telling us how to do it. And but it's so rewarding. So it'll feel good when it's done.
Both of you signed 2-year deals here. First off, congratulations. But just for you, Luke, just maybe the reasons why you wanted to come back, and 2 years gives you a lot of flexibility here over the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, Bakersfield was everything I hoped it would be. The big thing for me when I first took a PTO with Edmonton my first year was just to find a place where I could have an opportunity to play and kind of show the player I was and fill a role for a team. And with the coaching staff and management that we have there, I've really been able to do that. And, that's all I could ask for is just find a place where they believe in me and give me an opportunity. So it was a no-brainer for me when, we kind of started.
Nope. Oh. Technical difficulties. Hello, Luke. Well, we'll go to you, Brad. Bugs, you've been all around the country here. You've been in the NHL. You've been in a bunch of different organizations. 2 years for yourself, and obviously wife and kid now. What brought you back for obviously the 2 years here?
Yeah, a lot of things. I think my whole experience the last 10 years has been kind of really dependent on myself as an individual, and getting to certain check marks in my career and doing whatever I needed to do to kind of just survive in my role. And when I came to Bakersfield, I was trying to do the same thing, and it's kind of turned into a little bit more of a college environment for me, just with the unity and just the the vibe around the rink. So I just thought, I just turned 31. So at this point in my career, it's like, every day I go to the rink, whether it's, Al or Chad or, Gansey, like it's just, it's a good atmosphere to come to work every day. And honestly, after being in Canada since March, I'm like, no kidding, I want to be in California, man. It was like, I couldn't golf. I couldn't go outside. I was like, well, yeah, we're like, living's pretty good down there.
So a question from Donna, actually jersey numbers, and one thing that I always enjoy. The first year, Bugs switched from 22 to 17. Espo, you switched from 29 to 9. First, Bugsy, just why the number change, and are we sticking with what we have here, guys, moving forward?
Yeah, I told Benny I'd sell it to him, but it's his Twitter handle, but he doesn't want it. But I switched because of Banks's birthday, and then 17 was also my number growing up as a kid. So, like I said, I was starting to get a little more comfortable in Bakersfield, so I was like, might as well throw it back to the roots a little bit.
Espo?
I wore 9 in juniors and then 4 years of college. But my first year in Bakersfield, I didn't really get too much of a choice. So I liked that 29 had a 9 in it, but when 9 came available, I hopped on it.
And a good point, Luke, you talked about coming in on a PTO and kind of grinding your way through. It's a question we got actually from Allison, who kind of envisioned you as kind of an embodiment of Bakersfield in the sense of how hard you work on the ice and how you've worked for everything you have here over the last couple of years. What has maybe the coaching staff or the management kind of said to you in terms of what you are looking to work on going into whatever this summer is like and whatever next season looks like and moving forward for your career?
Yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate the comment there. That's quite a compliment for me, and my work ethic is something that I always focus on, and something that I think our coaching staff does a really good job of rewarding. But also, in terms of your question going forward, for me, I just try to, I think you try to improve all facets of your game, but at the same time, you do have to pick what you want to continue. And so for me, I'd like to just keep working on my scoring as best I can. And if I can keep, while maintaining my two-way game and the penalty killing and face-offs and little things like that, if I can find a way to chip in more offensively and help the team like that, that would be something that I'd like. And I would imagine the coaching staff wouldn't mind either. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm focusing on this summer or fall, however long it may last.
Bugsy, Ryan wants to know if there's any pregame rituals, either for yourself or maybe any weird ones from any of the guys on the team that you can share legally, I guess.
Yeah. I'll keep it in the locker room. I sit next to Maxie. He puts this like biofreeze or something on his legs, and it's like, I don't even know, it'd be the worst smelling mint you could think of, and it just like burns the nostrils. So he did that for 20 to 30 games sitting next to me and drove me nuts. So that's one of the pregame rituals that I always noticed. The boys always play two-touch soccer. I'm getting too old for that. And usually now Espo and I, we usually try and catch a game on the tube and kind of hang out and stretch and sip our coffee and just act like old men and get ready for the game.
Just stay distracted.
Yeah. Just stay relaxed.
You don't want to get too ready too early.
No. You can't peak in a 68-game season. You gotta kind of just steadily climb.
Exactly.
It's about maintenance at this point.
Yeah, you got to survive.
Tammy was wondering, Luke, I think I know the answer to this question, but Luke, do you still talk to Jay Kulovich? Cooley's coming back next year, so you still talk to Jay Kulovich, a couple of guys from the Boston area?
Yeah, I when the Tiger and Phil and Peyton and Tom Brady match was on a couple of days ago, I FaceTimed Cooley because he's always got good good wisdom on who the favorites should be and where I should be leaning. And so I gave him a call, and of course, typical Cooley fashion, he was running down the beach with his headphones in, listening to some hippie music or something. And he didn't stop his run or his workout. He just answered the call and talked to me for about 5 minutes, panting, and then hung it up. So I've been in touch with Cooley a lot lately, and he's doing well on the beach as well in Marblehead. And, I think he's really happy to come back, and we're happy to have him for sure.
And Bugs, you brought up the match there, but, just this time without sports or, I love sitting on my couch as much as the next guy, but, without sports on, it's been a little difficult. But how cool was it just to see some sports return here over the last week?
Oh, well, especially, for you and I, like anytime I can see Tom Brady play golf, that's unbelievable. Even though, everyone's going to chirp him, but I was like, good for him on, getting out there and just obviously even the weekend before, that was great too. I don't know, the last two, I'm a big golf guy in the summer. So to kind of get that back on TV on a Sunday and get a little bit of a, normal ritual back was pretty good.
And Chase and a couple other people have been asking, in terms of just the training. I know we talked about you building decks and building gazebos and golfing, without being able to skate here over the last little while. What have you guys kind of been doing in terms of keeping yourselves ready and ready for whatever happens here over the next couple of months?
Well, for one, I think the rollerblade sales around the country have gone up.
Yep.
My mom works for Bauer, so she'd love me saying that, but I think it's up 700 or 800% or something like that. So I got myself a pair of rollerblades and have been doing that a little bit, and then also just staying in shape. It could be a while till we're playing again, but for me, it's just nice to kind of change my training up a little bit and just a lot of body weight stuff and just doing stuff that makes the body feel really good while staying in shape. So I've just kind of been doing that sort of stuff, and helps the golf game as well, staying loose and flexible.
Bugs?
I was going to say, besides running to the liquor store and back with my 2-4, we got a pretty good setup here. The bike rides and then the workouts that they've been giving us have been helpful. Obviously, not a lot of gym space, but just being outside the little guy now that the weather's better, just cruising around when, just doing whatever. And then I did buy a pair of those rollerblades that you can put on your skates. So I'm excited to give those a go again.
So we had this last time, and unfortunately we're getting this Zoom spam, which has been coming through lately. Looks like there's a spammer coming on. Sir, what's going on here with this?
Excuse me?
We have a call going on.
What's going on here?
Sir.
Yes.
Or condors.
Oh, come on. If you're going to do it better than that. Let's make some noise in here.
There it is.
That better?
Yeah.
You like that? Hey, you didn't even need this to hear me all the way over there, did you?
All right. 2
You know what?
minutes for rough and Malone.
Let's see. I could do a goal score. Bakersfield, go! To number 17, Brad Malone. Assist again to Luke Esposito. Seems to be on that side.
That had to be a shorthanded goal then.
There you go. Yeah, you know what, Ryan? This might look a little different for Brad and Luke. Let me ask you this: does this help? Is this more like it? Yeah, there you go. That looks a little better. There we are. Yeah, my mouth is moving, and you guys are looking at me going, "I don't get it. Yeah, I don't understand that." Hey, you know what, Ryan? The one thing I wanted to know from those guys is, did you see today maybe it was yesterday they did it, but the Oilers released their so-called lineup for when this whole thing, starts up again with the playoffs.
Yeah,
So the lines and everything.
Yeah, the Bob Stauffer likes to throw
Yeah,
things out there.
Exactly. Well, I wanted to know from Brad and Luke, if you guys were still there's a couple of obviously former Condors that are in the lineup and everything. If you were in that situation right now, because Luke, you said you were rollerblading and you guys are kind of trying to stay in shape and everything, how tough is it to sort of be just doing that, and knowing that at some point you may have to get back on the ice? And how long would it take you to get back into game shape?
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
I think it's going to be crazy to see. Like, you're definitely going to know who was working out and who wasn't when everyone gets back.
But they gave him too much time. They gave him a month, so everybody now can start scrambling if they weren't working out.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be able to sleep right now if I didn't know I was going to play.
The ice situation's been so difficult. Like, it'll be really interesting to see guys. I mean, some guys, even if they do know that they're going to be back, sometimes they might not have access to ice until, hopefully in a couple weeks here, maybe something starts opening up. But if not, July is going to hit and this training camp will start, and they might not have been on the ice in a couple months at the least. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Some of the guys
that big of a difference, though, when you're talking about like rollerblading versus actual ice skating.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, you can't. You could work out in the gym and be in like the best shape of your life for 6 months, and then hop on the ice, and you'd be so out of skating shape. There's no duplication for it. It's
even rollerblading doesn't quite cover it, but I mean, it's the best a lot of guys can do, so it's great. But yeah, it's a very unique sport in that sense. There's no way to really prepare yourself other than just playing. So
with that in mind, would you say that going into this kind of just revised playoff format, that it's a pretty much about as level a playing field as you can get going in now?
Yeah. For the guys that aren't as skilled, it is, yeah. Because all those guys weren't able to like refine their skills. It's like, God, I wish I was playing. I'd be a lot more successful. I'd be dumping it in too.
But then there's another side to think, like, some guys that aren't as skilled might need a whole lot more practice to get themselves to the peak of their game, whereas some of those guys can just hop on the ice and maybe not have skated in months, and they're just so skilled and so much better than some guys that might not make as much of a difference for them. And then you got to throw into the account as well, and I'm sure that Ryan maybe touched on this, the fact that now you've got to pull all these guys back in from like places where you are to get back to wherever this hub cities are going to be in order to play these tournaments. That's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, Canada's on full lockdown right now. I mean, like it's pretty strict up here still. Like, and it's the weather's starting to get nice, and people are starting to get a little cabin fever up here. But for those Canadian guys, I mean, I know like, if guys were coming back into Edmonton and stuff, it's a full 2-week quarantine still, like once you cross the border. So like you do all that hard work and like get ready and get in shape, and then you fly, say to Edmonton, you got 2 weeks in your apartment by yourself. So it's going to be a process. It's tough. Not to mention all the guys coming back from Europe and Russia and places like that too. So that's even further. And yeah, there's so much to it. It's exciting that they're coming back, but definitely going to have to be careful and safe at the way they do it. Well, if certain travel things work out, I'm telling you, Luke, you might actually get a phone call. We've got a couple already.
How quickly can you get here from Hilton Head?
Exactly. I'll just hop in the car. I'll be there in a day or two.
Couple updates. Luke mentioned a couple of the guys around the country. William Lagesson looks like he's having a nice little time in Sweden, so that's good. Looks like they're fully rolling over there. I think he's skating over there, so Sweden looks nice. And Dmitry Samorukov got married last week or 2 weeks ago, so congrats to Dmitry. Used this time well to get married too, so that's great. So Edward wanted me to share something here. Brad wanted your opinion on this, and maybe it could be Brad and Mike. I'm just going to share my screen. First time I've ever done this on the Zoom, so see if you guys see this. Brad, what was going through your mind right about this point in the proceedings, and then maybe Mike, what happened when he maybe got to the box?
Do you remember what game that was?
I don't know. I don't think we won though.
Was that I don't know.
It was sometime this year. It might have been Colorado last year. EJ, type what game that was.
Oh, that wasn't the playoff game, was it?
It might have been the playoff game actually with Colorado. Now that I think about it, after Keegan fought Greer, it might.
No, I was coming from their end. It looks like I was definitely calling someone, telling them something with my stick pointed in their direction. But the one thing I can always remember about last year in the playoffs was when I try to poke San Diego's goalie in the mask, and he it was in double. It was the double triple quadruple overtime game, and he did the big dive or whatever.
Did the Charlie Brown?
And yeah, he did and they took me to the box, and I was like, okay, San Diego's power play in overtime. I'm like, oh, way to go, Brad, this is gonna go over great. And then the linesman went up to the ref for whatever reason, was like, no, I tripped him, it wasn't him. And then they called the penalty off. I was like, oh, thank God.
Wow. I don't even remember that far into that.
Yeah.
Mike, with these two in the box, I mean,
Ryan,
who's the most cordial in there?
I signed a non-disclosure agreement. Anything that's said between the only people that know what's going on are the ones, right, guys, that sit right behind us. They pretty much can hear everything. But a lot of times you get people that are just and they do this every game. They'll yell at you and stuff. And a lot of times there's so much going on, and I got the headset and I'm listening to you and the guys in the tunnel, and I'm listening to the people in the video box, that I've got so much going on. Somebody will be like, hey, did you hear what he said? I'll say, no, wait, who's me? They were talking to me? This is a rare thing. It's not like when we were still in the ECHL. And let's go back to the W. You want to talk about some things that you can't repeat. Guys that are talking about, taking off articles and stabbing the other guy in the other box and all this stuff. Now in the AHL, it's so hilarious because it's, for the most part, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but 90% of the time, the guys will come in after a fight. They'll be, hey, that was a good swing you took there. Yeah, nice poke in the face. Yeah, that was pretty good. Where are you going next week? I don't know. We're headed over here. Okay, see you back out there. That's pretty much
Poli.
Yeah, there you go. There's always
it's definitely not the old days when the AHL and the East Coast League was the old Wild West. It was no rules, it seemed like. So definitely a little different, but I don't know. It's not all that bad when you're playing that many games. The way they played, it's hard to maintain that.
Well, I mean, you have the intensity and stuff, but, a lot of people will always say that, especially now, the way things are, that you guys won't, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong on this, that there's not a tendency to really get into it because you could get called up tomorrow. And you can't go up there if you broken a bone in your hand or, something like that.
You think that going into the game, and then something happens on your first shift and the emotions take over. But
I just don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's rewarded as much as it used to. Guys are fighting and playing that way. It's just, I don't think.
It's more penalized now, right?
Yeah. They don't really, they just don't value it as much as they used to, which, is a shame, but it's at the same time, the game's, way more fun to watch, but it's just kind of the direction they're going. And for player safety in all aspects, I guess you got to agree with it on that.
So we were talking games and favorite games, and obviously last year's playoff run comes to mind, but maybe Espo, you can lead it off, just your favorite game or memory. Russ was looking to know about the about your time in Bakersfield. Favorite game or favorite moment?
There's a lot. I mean, especially the first year during that 17-game win streak. I mean, it seemed like every game, for a while there, we were in a position that the streak was going to end, and kind of everybody was kind of waiting for it. And then somehow we'd pull it out and win in overtime or a late goal or something like that. So that was all pretty exciting. And then, but specifically, I remember being a part of a shorthanded goal with Gambo at home. I think it must have been Game 3 against Colorado, and the fans were just, I mean, the building was rocking when we scored that. And then closing them out as well was pretty exciting. So, I mean, the regular season's great, but there's something about the playoffs that's just next level. So,
That was a good party after too, Espo. That was a good party after when we won this.
Yeah. Let's share some more there, Brad. All right, you open the door.
Where did we went? Is it the Foxes? Is that what it is?
You went to the Silver Fox.
We went to the Silver Fox.
Silver Fox.
With what's his name? The hype man.
Cameron.
My guy, he's the best.
He told us he's writing a book. I'm waiting for that to come out.
He let it spill last time. He's finishing the book or midway through the book. Every time I talk to him, he's either done with the book or his editor made him rewrite the entire thing. But Jay was looking for a copy as well too, a signed one on his desk. So.
Got some stories for sure.
Been around a long time.
Yeah.
Bugs, any favorite moment that kind of sticks out?
I mean, yeah, I'll just jump on that bandwagon with Espo. Like, just the whole playoffs was, was pretty crazy. First time, and I guess that was was that my second year? I don't even know. Yeah, my second year. So first time in the playoffs in a long time. It was, it was quite an experience to play at home. The only thing I would say is, like, I didn't get why we didn't get home advantage those first 2 games. Like, Colorado was a tough place to go play, man. That was
very tough.
That was difficult, but that was, there's some good wins that you can just always remember, like after a losing streak or whatever, and the boys just come on the bus and, Al yells for the bus driver to stop the bus, and it's just kind of like there's just a different tone on the bus. You can always tell when there's one of those big wins, and, we've had a lot of them over a few years, but there's been some good ones.
Yeah, Al,
I'd love to.
The bus. Max asks if Ruben's packed the 2 points, and
Slam.
I remember the first time Ruben didn't understand what was going on, and
he really hammered on him.
There was a hammer on the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun, but not done. I guess, Espo? Woo.
No, just
Can I throw in one?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
The over in this. I mean, this is the overtime Curry goal against San Diego at home.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm being selfish on this one is we had one of our rookie reporters, and she was doing one of her first sports stories, and she was live at the top of the lower level in the south end, and she was turning on her light as we're in the playoffs, and I'm texting her, telling her to turn the light off. The game is going on, and she's got her lights that are shining right at the ice. So they pitched to her to go live right at the start of the 11 o'clock show. They're like, and here we go. Let's go live to Vanessa right now. And she's got what's going on. And she says, we're in overtime. She gets 5 seconds into her report when Curry scores.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's going on. It's on YouTube. She spins around and looks at the thing, and she's like, oh my God, we scored. Condors win. And she starts talking. And I just it's all I can do to sit there and just tell her, be quiet and listen to the crowd, because the crowd, as you guys know, went absolutely crazy. The place was just rocking. Everything's shaking. And it was one of the best live shots and I mean, perfect timing that you could ever ask for in that moment. And it was
a rookie too. She's like, that was a slam dunk.
She had no clue what was going on.
I'm off to CNN.
We had one of our rookies on the ice too. I think that was Clouder's third game or something like that. So that was pretty exciting for him. And I think he had the assist on it.
Yeah, it was. That's a funny moment. I'll send you guys the link on that. That's. I forgot about that too. That Vanessa was up there. Espo, what would have Woody's reaction would have been if you lost the puck in the lights and they ended up scoring?
Why do we have to go there?
He would have.
She might have just been a rookie for one day, and then she might have been out of there.
I might have been out of a job.
That's all. That's your department.
Oh yeah, Ryan approved it. Ryan approved it.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. I approve everything.
Yeah, we know. Oh, we know. Sorry, guys. The boss is late. Ryan gave us the wrong schedule.
It's either me or if we're on the road, it's Kimmer.
Sam Kim takes it on the chin.
I gotta say, Brad, I thought your favorite goal would have been the teddy bear goal.
Yeah, that was a good one. But I don't know. I just feel like they're bad juju games. We always we always seem to win. We never win.
I was my first year. We lost 8-1 to Tucson on teddy bears.
Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh wow, that's right.
And who was it?
I get nervous for.
We beat Ontario this year.
Yeah, I thought we won this one.
Curry scored this year.
Star Wars night's always a good one for me. I'll always like that one.
Yeah, Espo was going to play hard that night. Extra hard.
We might. So we've been talking about it, and you two are kind of our go-tos here. So, Spo, we might have you design the Star Wars jersey.
Yes.
At least have some. I know Dom and EJ are on the call, so we'll put them down. And then Bugs, we're talking about doing a players weekend kind of deal where you guys can come up with your own design and maybe do some nicknames on the back. And
yeah, that'd be cool.
So we can.
I was hoping you were going to say St. Patty's Day. I always love St. Patty's Day jerseys.
It fits you, so that's perfect. So.
Well, that's why I thought you were going to me for that. I thought I was a slam dunk on that.
Yeah,
Brad, I've been bugging him for another St. Patrick's Day jersey for years. The last one was what? Was it like almost 10 years ago?
I know Riles is on the call here, so I know he'll tell me when it last was, but it was definitely before. It was before me, so we're going on 10 seasons. So yeah, so good to bring it back.
Yeah,
green, black. The problem is the pant shells just. It was a lot easier back in the day when we had black pant shells and just could.
Pant shells are the worst. We can't do those.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Monsters in Cleveland? They did like the full, even the pant shells, Cleveland Indians uniform.
Yeah, they did one of those, and they did a spacesuit one too.
Yeah, they do some good work over there.
Nice.
Well, if you're game for wearing pant shells, we'll put you in the black pant shells.
Oh yeah, no problem.
4 strides on the day of the pant shells. Those really hurt the hips.
Yeah. So especially jerseys were a lot easier back in the day. We had black pants. It was black helmets. It was a lot easier. But yeah, certainly. Did want to touch on something. I know you guys, Bugs, you talked about, the fun bus rides. And, whenever I've been asked here, and when we were talking about Caver here for the last 2 months and just giving our thoughts on what he meant to us and to the team. I know you two very close with Colby and with Emily. First thing I always thought about was him on the bus. And, I always am the guy that has to walk to the back of the bus to use the facility. So he's always kind of the last spot. You and him were always the last spots playing cards. But just your thoughts on Colby and obviously being able to do a lot of things coming up this year and in the future as well to kind of honor him and his legacy.
Yeah, we had, we kind of had an instant connection when we first met just because of the redhead thing. And then, just right from there, it was pretty good friendship. He's one of those guys that, a lot of guys during the season, you're close and then you go back for the summer and kind of lose touch. But he was one of those guys that was always checking in, see how things are going, how was the wedding, how was Banks. Like, he's just the type of person that was, he really cared. And, I don't know. He was a great teammate to be around. Like, I got nothing but good things to say about him and, like, a lot of really good memories with that guy. It's awful. I don't even know. I feel awful for everybody that's involved.
And you were with us. I think my last memory, I guess, was the night we got into Grand Rapids. We flew in and got in at about 11:30. It was me, you, and him. And a couple other guys too joined us and looking for a spot to eat. Ended up at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I think he tried the habanero wings or something, and it didn't go too well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, his face matched his hair that night.
Espo?
Yeah, it's I mean, like, there aren't, like Brad said, there are no words. It's unspeakably sad. And you know, Brad spent a lot of time with Colby that first year after he got picked up from Boston, and so he kind of knew him. And when I remember, Bugsy, you got sent down, and because I was such good buddies with you, I was like, oh, you know, like, Caver's in there now, and like, I don't know him much, but like, I know you can play that fourth line role. And like, I was on, you know, and you just looked at me and you were just like, he's the greatest guy. Like, you just can't he's the greatest guy. You have nothing but good things to say about him. And then obviously getting lucky enough this year to get to play with him was something I'll always like just really cherish. And I was actually lucky enough, it kind of came together last minute, but for the All-Star break, a lot of guys kind of plan trips and or just try to get away for a little bit. Some guys end up staying home, or but I heard Curry and Caver and their girlfriends and wives, obviously for Emily, were heading down to Palm Springs. So my girlfriend Kelly and I hopped on that with them and drove down, and we ended up having 3 days of just a really good time. And you know, thinking back, obviously at the time, you just think it's something you'll remember. But, you know, it was just as that year you spent spring break you know, All-Star break down in Palm Springs. But looking back now, I'm so happy I got to have that time with them, and just spend a little extra time that I may not have got to as just a teammate of his. So, you know, but like Brad said, it's crazy that it happens to the best guys too. It's one of the best teammates I've ever played with, and you just can't, there's not a bad thing to say about the guy.
Yeah, and I know the players and obviously the Condors and the Oilers have a lot going on in terms of you know, being able to plan things and honor him and Emily and raise a lot of money as well too. For anyone on the call, you can go to edmontonoilers.com/Colby right now. That's the easiest way to donate right now. I know if you check out, you know, Emily is pretty, you know, big on Instagram as well too. So you can check out her page. She has a lot of links to various things. I know my wife bought, I'm blanking on the name of the bracelet, but it's a Colby bracelet that someone created on Emily's Instagram page, and there's a link on there, and the proceeds are benefiting the Memorial Fund as well too. So a lot of cool stuff being done and in the works to honor him, and certainly more to come here in the future. Where do we go from here, Mike? Oh, did I mute you? Sorry. Well, you muted yourself.
Usually Caver would want to have one of these.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was a great guy, and yeah,
I love his Bud Lights.
You know what's funny, and you know, I look back on it now, and that Grand Rapids, you know, and I normally don't, you know, go out dinner and, you know, fraternization stuff, but you know, it was just one of those things where we were all so hungry that we were just, I mean, guys were trying to order pizzas and figure things out. We ended up at Buffalo Wild Wings in Grand Rapids.
It was actually good too.
That was good. Yeah. Al with the wings was pretty good. Mike?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm just saying hi to you.
Hey, what's in the background there, Mike? What do you got? Can you take us on a little tour, or are you kind of locked in?
I'm kind of locked in right now. That's the backyard. It extends into the pasture where the horses are.
All right, and then you got, what do you got? You got something up on? You got some ribbons up there. What's going on back there?
That's right there's. I don't know if you can see. Okay, you know what? All right, I'll give you.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, hang on.
He had to at that point.
This is my wife's pride and joy. She's quite the competitor. She shows horses for.
Oh, hey.
So she's She's been showing since she was probably 7 or 8 years old. And just over the last maybe 15 years, she's really sort of come into her own. And I'm just going to show these to you right here. We got these up here. These right there. In the middle there, that's a U.S. National Championship trophy and 2 reserve national championships in her class. And then if you go this way, you see the other 2 national titles and 2 more reserve. Oh, look what's over here. Oh, there's another national title and 2 more reserve national championships. My wife's pretty good.
She's pretty good.
Now,
Oh
me,
God, we've done this again.
no national
Okay.
titles here.
It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta.
What else you got in the back there?
The what?
This one honestly is a Zoom bomb because he had no. I didn't even know he was here.
What? Just reading the paper.
Hey!
Just reading the paper, boys.
You
Oh,
would
hey,
have a.
well,
you
wasn't
would.
the same paper you had last week?
Yeah, it's from 2007 and 8. Weren't you with the team then?
So were you.
I don't think Brad was born yet. Look at that guy.
Baby face.
How are you, Brad?
Good, man. What's going on?
You know, just stretching away, getting ready for the call. You know, hopefully someone calls.
Well, you're just going to go 1 or 2 cities and you're just going to hype everybody up.
I'm going to
That's
sneak
the
my
deal.
way in. I don't care how I do it, man.
How good would that be if you were just an essential employer and you're just the only guy in the stands still doing your job?
I think the only team
would
that
be
wants to do that is this one.
Yeah. So it's the same.
Where are you?
Kingston. Where are you? That
I'm from
looks good.
Ottawa, man.
Nice.
We're neighbors.
Oh, you're right up the road.
Well, I'm not there now. I'm in California. We're just talking as
Aw.
if there's no one else on this call. I love that about Zooms. It's like there's no one else that matters, just you and I.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone. This is a legit Zoom bomb.
That was awesome.
That was a legit Zoom bomb. I have a feeling Matt Riley texted you.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah, I think Riles is
Oh,
up.
there's the guy. There he is.
Yeah,
How you
that's
doing, man? When are the dentist shop opening up? What's going on?
Oh, it's open.
Oh, it's open.
This is their best work.
God, you are sexier than ever, man. I can't even breathe.
We were talking about that this week when they made the announcement. I said, "What if Cameron's the only one in the stands and he's able? I mean, he can put all
That's
the
all you
jerseys
need.
on. That's all you need."
Let's be honest, right? Who doesn't want to see this face? I think if that happened, if one team hired me, I'm going to announce it now. If it happened, that would be my last game ever. I'd walk away. Done. Except for
What about
next
having
year.
a Cameron jersey? A Cameron jersey night.
I know. I would like. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Unless it's next year when the Condors are in the AHL Cup Finals, then I'd come back for that. As long as you guys don't play 7 overtimes again.
Why? They kept feeding you beer.
I thought you got overtime.
I've been wanting to get that into my contract for years. I did have a couple of beers by the 6th overtime, I think. I left my credit card, by the way, at Silver Fox. Did you guys ever pick it up for me?
I did. Thanks. We've been paying for beers ever since with it.
That's Canadian money, Brad. Come on.
Hey, it's good up here
We were
right now.
talking about that earlier.
Oh yeah, right.
What do you remember from the Silver Fox, Cam?
I remember meeting meeting the nicest bunch of guys I've ever met in hockey, and I've been doing this 25 years. No, that's what I remember. And I remember someone saying it's probably time to go home.
That was 3 hours before you went home, though.
Hey, you gonna Zoom me and judge me right now? Honestly?
Well, you bombed. I mean, we were mid conversation, deep thoughts, and
Yeah, but Mike Hart's on here, so you can roll with anything. Mike Hart can roll with anything. I've seen him, one of the hardest, best. I don't even know what you do for the team, but you're great at it, Mike. I swear to God.
Hey, Cameron, it's all about flying under the radar. You know, you just do your thing. And if everybody walks out, and whether your team wins or loses, preferably wins, but they walk out of the building and they say, man, I had a great time. That Cameron Nutt was here tonight. And they go home and they say, we're going to come back. You've done your job.
That's all that matters, right?
Right.
I love how we've watched the golden hour and the sunset over
It's
Luke
gotta be a
Esposito
spark
and
in
Hilton.
life.
I gotta get a.
No, I like it. You're good.
Cam-
Yeah, Espo, you're good.
Change.
Where
Cameron,
are
can we
you?
get a
Luke,
professional-
where are you? And how do you do that to your computer?
Can we get a professional cheer for my sister who just graduated high school?
All
Let's
right.
go. You go, girl. You go,
And she's
girl.
going to college at Charleston.
It's a tough lo-
Congratulations.
It's a tough location there.
We'll get a cheers to her and a. This is our professional hype. Say hi to all the Condors fans.
All we got.
I'm the last guy to give you advice on going into college. Just show up to class and the rest will work out. Follow your dreams.
Is that the title of the book?
He's like, I'm out of here. Forget that.
Is that the title of the book?
Title of my book is That Night in Condorstown.
Hey.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you this, Brad. My book's done in July, and I'm going on a cross Canada tour. First time I'm saying this. So now I'll stop in Kingston. We'll have some beers on the lake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll go down to the. Well, there's a couple good ones down there.
I'm sure you guys could find some.
Never been to Kingston before. I swear to God.
Really? And you're what?
I went to a university in Quebec, about 4 hours from Queens, and I came down for a football game. I got so dressed up. I went on the middle of the field at a Queens football game, university there, and I got killed. I got 20 people that attacked me. It was the last time I did that again.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some serious people out there, especially by they say.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do that tour, so I'll keep you posted. But I don't want to interrupt any more than I have. You guys are beautiful.
Oh, we're close to wrapping up, Cam. So you can wrap up with us. We were just gonna ask Brad and Luke for just a message to Condors Town and kind of your thoughts on when you guys are able to come back and get this thing going again.
Before you guys answer, can I ask a question in all seriousness?
Sure, go ahead. Hold on. Anybody who watched the last one? Here's my questions. And out the window, Cam's taking over.
Brad and Luke, seriously, have you ever played with a group of guys that have like, hey,
I'm getting the sponsor reads in.
the continuity, the friendship, the camaraderie, like it's a pretty special team, isn't it?
We got a pretty good core that we've kind of kept circulating around here the last few years now, and we're like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of us that keep in touch over the summers. It's not just a work relationship. So
yeah, anytime
you get an opportunity to have fun with guys away from the rink and then go to work and kick the snot out of somebody, it's you gotta appreciate it for what it's worth.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably hear some of it in interviews and stuff, but which is pretty special on its own. I mean, when guys are taking that from out of the locker room and sharing it with fans and everybody that we truly enjoy coming to the rink every day, which, I mean, obviously a lot of people probably think that's obvious because we have to play a sport for a living, but it's like anything else. Some days can feel harder than others, but honestly, since I got there, it's been really great. Everybody enjoys coming to the rink, and that says a lot about the group of guys and everything. So it's been pretty special.
Love it. Ryan and Mike, it's your show. I gotta go. I got a busy night ahead of me.
Whatever you think. You drank out of the Stanley Cup. Now you can't win it, right? Now you can't win it.
I'm from Ottawa. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
You can't even. I mean, you get the draft coming up. You get the lottery. It's exciting.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited. Hey guys, have an awesome summer. Condors Town, I love you. Hart,
Thanks
the best. Multi, Brad, Luke.
Thanks,
see you guys.
Appreciate you.
See you on the tour.
Guys, just one final thought from each of you. We've gone 51 minutes, which is longer than Gambo and Woody. So you guys win. So I think Luke needs a refill, or Kelly's coming over.
I got a final thought.
Oh, final thought coming over.
I want to thank all the healthcare workers, and I got my girlfriend Kelly here, who's a nurse, and all the healthcare workers and first.
He's not a fiance yet.
So had to make an appearance and say hi to all the fans.
Hi, Cal.
Hey, Kelly. How's it
No,
going,
no
Kelly?
announcement? No announcement, Luke?
No. We gotta be big.
Live on Zoom.
Yeah, that'd be class.
Another Condors Town first.
That would have been a classic.
We'll set one up for that, Holtby.
Perfect. I want to be
You'll
the first
be
to know. Yeah. Bugs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just crazy times right now. It's kind of nice to get out here and kind of see you guys again and get a little bit back to normal, and just hoping everybody stays safe. And it looks like you guys are getting good weather, so hopefully you're enjoying that part at least. That's take the positives when you can.
Yeah,
You know,
105 this week.
I think a lot of people, yeah, it's 107 right now, by the way.
Sorry.
Really?
I watched the other news station. I got incorrect information.
No, that's okay. That's okay. You know, they're first with yesterday's news. So you know what? It's just funny because when the season ended, right after Star Wars night, right? That was our last game. Was Star Wars night.
Yep.
That was it. And I think a lot of times, you know, it's great, you know, making the playoffs was such a rush last year and carrying the season on extra. But I think that for a lot of fans, and especially like for what I do, you always know, okay, I'm going to be doing this from the beginning of October until the middle of April at least, and it could go on from there. And so you have that sort of in your mind and you sort of take it for granted. And when it was taken away, it was just so surreal for a while. I mean, at first it was like, okay, this is a pause. Everyone was talking about a pause. We're just going to take a pause, and then we'll be playing hockey again. And then it was like, well, maybe we're not going to be playing. And now you're even looking ahead to next year thinking, wow, you know, just how, if things had to get pushed back or whatnot, and I don't even want to think about that now, but I think it's made me, and I think I've talked to a couple of the Condors Town faithful, it really made you appreciate just what we did have, you know, in Condors Town, and what we've been able to be part of and take part in, that it really sort of, I sat back and thought just how special it's all been, this entire ride up until this point. And I'm just looking forward to getting back in there in whatever way, shape, or form it starts out in. But I know that first game back, and I think you guys will know this too, that when we finally have some sense, and everybody, whether it's, you know, the start of next year or whatnot, where we have a full stadium again, arena, and everybody is back into it, and you get that same electricity and feel, it's going to be a pretty special time.
Yep.
Well, I think, people are going to be, they're you know, looking forward to getting back to a little bit of normal. But when you can go out and enjoy something together with a crowd of people like that, there's really no better feeling. And you can definitely tell everyone in Bakersfield just has that, you know, that same sense of pride for, you know, us, and, you know, just kind of how we, you know, support the community. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's a perfect example, Brad. I just got a text message, says, miss you, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Condors Town. Condors Town.
Well, guys, appreciate Brad, Luke, Mike. Appreciate you for jumping on, spending some time with us. We'll try and we'll shuffle the deck and see who might be next in the Holte Happy Hour here with our next guys. So we'll see who.
Oh, are you taking the name now? You're naming it after yourself?
He already copyrighted it. So.
I've copyrighted it. We went a little later this time. We felt people were working. It's a work in progress, you know. When we have those Eastern time games, it's Happy Hour with Holte because it comes on at 4:00. So So we'll run with that. It's you know, if somebody wants to sponsor it, we're game. You know, thanks SC Architect, PCL, ABM. Yeah, I got them all. Yeah, get them all in.
Get the ad reads in there.
Get the ad reads in. We need some revenue. But appreciate you guys. Keep it up, and look forward to your golf game, Luke, and getting out on the blades there, Clugsy. So.
Yeah, I like the facial hair, by the way. That's good. I think you should keep that. That should be a homestay.
Well, so it started March 12th. I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I was there when it started.
Yeah, it's been a point of contention for a good solid couple of weeks here. But yeah, since March 12th, I said until they let me go to the barber shop and shave it off. But apparently you can't go in and get your beard trimmed yet. So you can.
What?
Yeah, that's the rule. I don't know. I saw it on a news station. I'm not saying which one.
Rules. Ryan, rules.
Yeah, exactly. That's
More like a guideline than a rule.
Yeah, so it might be gone next week. But I just wanted to let everybody know that I had this tool in my belt here if needed. Like if needed, it was there.
Is this post-marriage, pre-baby beard? Is that what that is? Is that like a little bit of a?
You know, you guys met. I'm building baby cribs. You guys are building gazebos and decks. You know, give me an Allen wrench and watch me work. You know.
Hey, I actually started a LinkedIn. I started a LinkedIn account. Mike, you got to add me on LinkedIn. We got to start connecting. I'm already firing up. I'm firing it all up.
Oh, my.
Let me see here.
It's business, Bugsy. I think I just did get a LinkedIn request. So.
Okay. All right, Brad, I got you. I'm your third contact. I need a few more.
I told you I'm a rook.
Did you get an email from Matt Riley too saying you needed to grow your LinkedIn connections?
Wow, he sent that
no,
out.
but if he wants me to do that, I'll do that.
You're going to be the champion for the LinkedIn, so I think you're good.
I got the Condors logo. It says that I work at can I do this? How do I do this?
You work at Bakersfield Condors now, so that's perfect.
We all had to have helped you with that.
No.
Look at that.
Salary insights. What type of salary do you get?
I've been full-time for 2 years and 11 months.
Nice. Nice.
We don't count as full time, do we? We don't work in the summers.
Well, I'm not telling people that.
Did I just ruin your secret?
For tax purposes here. Guys, we appreciate you. We'll be in touch here, season ticket holders, with what we're going to be doing next trip around the happy hour. But until then, guys, be good. We'll see you in Condorstown soon. Mike, I'll see you around too. And thanks everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon, guys.
See ya.
Go Condors.